What's up, y'all? Welcome to Miami for Dapper Conversations Miami edition with the Jon FX joining us here. We're at the historic Hampton house, which is the location of One Night in Miami. So we're making history tonight with our Dapper Conversations here. So tap in, let somebody know that they need to listen to this conversation, but come on in with us. Welcome back in, guys. Another powerful Dapper Conversations coming to you right now. Very excited, man. Jon, appreciate you here. Also got my two partners here with us today for a float into the mind of Jon FX, right? So I appreciate you, man. One thing I love to do is, I can only sum up who you are in the words that I can say. But Jon, let the people know who you are. Who is Jon FX?
Well, my real name is Jon Alexander Crawford, hailing from Jamaica. St. Andrew, and not everybody's from Kingston, but St. Andrew, Jamaica. Resided here in the United States, came here and started, the professional musical journey. I was always a musician in Jamaica, playing in the church and playing with bands and different musicians, coming here to America and blossoming into a musician, a producer, stuff like that, yeah.
See, going back to when you came here and you said you blossomed, right? Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, Jon came here, he walked on the scene, everybody was like, yo, Jon FX, I need you to be a part of this track, right? It didn't happen that way? No.
So it came to New York. My mom was a part of the teaching program. They have a program that they bring teachers from the islands because there's a different teaching technique that they have.
Yeah.
And because of the not paying teachers a lot, a lot of people would not go to school to become teachers. So they go to the islands where they know they'll be more excited. We're going to America. They give us documents and we all come here as a family. Being in New York now, I was already working as a musician in Jamaica for like Half Pint, at Caveman Studio. It's a Rasta studio where all the Rastas come from, Sizzler and stuff. So at Caveman, he gave me a studio to go to in New York. So it was Jalife Studio. So Jalife knows the guy that did like Barrington Levy. I don't know if you guys know that Shine record. I'm a bad boy in the con. Yeah. That's Barrington Levy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jalife discovered that in New York. So when I went there, I was just interning, rolling wires, and I was an analog kid. So this digital thing, Pro Tools, was like just coming out at the time, 2001, Digi Design. So then he had me there just trying to master some of the records. So I already knew about EQing and dynamics. I mastered Barrington Levy, Carlson Livington, Sister Nancy, a bunch of reggae legendary records from 2-inch reel-to-reel, from vinyl 12-inch to CDs back then.
Don't show your age, Jon. Don't show your age.
Yeah, I'm not so young. So then I was 2001, 2001, 2002, 2003, I did a remix. 2005, I did a remix. A record, Hey Kinda Young Jeezy. I did the remix to that with Shower Ranks. When it goes, shut up, fire, fire. It was a big record in New York. So that is what changed it for me. I just started doing remixes. I was like, how do we get in? Obsession, a partner of mine, he did the Bone Crusher. Remember that guy? Hey, you're never scared.
Yeah.
It's a Sizzler remix that goes, solid as a rock. It just can't stop me now. I ain't never scared.
Yeah.
That's the remix.
Yeah.
That was 03. So I linked up with Obsession, and then we did the Akon and Young Jeezy record together, and that kind of brought like Sizzler to the forefront, Vybz Kartel, Akon, and the Jamaican linking up again with the American brothers, or same brothers here. So that what kind of started me out. People know that kid can remix really good, So that kind of still was a struggle because I never really seen money until like real money until like 2017.
Wow.
Wow.
13, 14 years.
Yeah, and it is really developing the mind. Because remember, as melanated brothers, it's not so easy for us to maneuver here in this system. Worse coming from the Caribbean. So it's something where I had to condition this thing and learn that, okay, we're creating with this mind. So I said, with all the talent, because I see talented guys, I was like, man, they never make it. I don't want to be one of those guys that play all this stuff. How do you really make it? And I recognize that you have to really condition your mind to see it, there. struggles, it's a part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what I didn't do was, there's a time when we start to mope on the struggles. Oh man, they robbed me. I got robbed all the time in music. You know what I mean? You know, you come for publishing, says, "Oh, let me get you social security." We don't have that. You're from Jamaica. You know, Jamaican passport. So then you put it in someone and they take it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And then I hear records on the radio. I say, I did that, and that, and that, and that. But I'm taking the bus. You know what I mean? Taking the dollar cab in Brooklyn.
Wow. Yeah.
But because I understood this balance that my dad taught me, it's like, you're just gonna just struggle. It's a part of it. And then normally people get bitter at the struggle. I didn't have any baby moms either. So I didn't have to worry about, like, I need that money now and do some, you know, some things that would, my character would be, you know, a little shifty. So I didn't have to do that because I wasn't really, it was still fun at a period of time. So, man, I'd love to get some money, you know. I'd love to be credited for this stuff. So then I had to start working with the reggae record labels now, like the more official ones, like VP Records in New York. There with Egyptian, I Win. Egyptian had a record that goes Hold You. I did the entire Hold You album.
What?
Yeah, Ricky Blaze did the single.
Yeah.
But I did the entire album, which is Nah Let Go. A record goes, I Can Feel Your Pain. That was the first time I've ever seen a credit that wasn't a remix. That says produced by Jon FX. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
07 now. I met my wife, 05, 06, 07. We have the first children. We get married, and the children just keep coming. I have about 5 kids, and just like back to back. By 2011, we're in 5 kids already. And I'm like, oh man, what's going to go on here? So then I had the Egyptian, the reggae records, and reggae records publishing is tricky because reggae records don't really go gold or platinum. You know, I remember when Gun Session, the Akon and Young Jeezy record went platinum. I was like, great, our remix should go, blah, blah. I reckon as remixes, if not official, it's not put up by the label. White label is the most you could do. You know what I mean? So that was the issue on it. Reggae records, when they're super popular to us, it's just scratching the surface in America.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So then I was like, man, how do I do this again? Back to the drawing board. Egyptian was the biggest reggae record. Ghana was the biggest thing. Like, this is supposed to change your life. Nikki Jump on the remix. And I said, it's the Nah Let Go single what I'm really credited for. She said, Nah Let Go. That was 2011, 2012. I was sitting there, 2013. I said, I'm going to get a job. You know what I mean? So we moved to South Florida, and I see in a Jewish dealership. I went to a Jewish dealership to try to get a third row for the kids, you know, family van, you know, take them around. And a lady was there, the Jewish guy wasn't there, and a lady came in, a black lady came in, and she's like, she thought I worked there. And I was just talking to her. I said, like, how's your credit? Da-da-da-da. You should get that car. So I made a sale. And the guy was like, you're really good. He said, you're really good, man. You should work here. And I said, yeah, I start tomorrow. So, you know, I wear a suit every day now.
Yeah.
And this is why we're having this conversation. Why I decided to wear the suit every day was, I would say in my mind, what if I was like a millionaire? What would I wear? I wear a suit every day, and I'd wear a Rolex. So I bought a fake Rolex, a replica Rolex, and I bought a cheap suit at H&M, $79, right? And I wear it every day. I change the shirt, put on a t-shirt, put on marina, and I just change it. And people don't know it's the same suit. Put on sneakers, put on shoes, slippers, but it's the same suit I wear every day. So when I went to the Jewish guy, I was really dressed, and he's like, what do you do? My wife would say to me, we're not rich, so don't tell anybody you're any producer. You know what I mean? So I tell people that I'm a struggling musician. So I tell this guy that I'm a struggling musician. I say, okay, start tomorrow. So when I went to the Jewish guy in the morning, he's like, you're not telling me something. I was like, well, I'm not really a struggling musician. I'm like a big producer in the reggae world. I just don't have the thing to show for it.
Yeah.
So he says, really? I was like, yes. He said, my son wants to like learn to play the piano. So I was playing the piano outside.
Yep.
So I said, well, I'll teach your son to play the piano. When I met his son want to make beats. Totally different thing. So I was like, guess what? What you got? You got Fruity Loops. I said, get the Logic, get the Pro Tools. I'll get you all this stuff, and I'll teach you to make beats. I teach this kid to make like tracks. It was easy. I think he got a record with Trick Daddy in like 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so the dad gave me some money. He says, you can't work here. Because I never had a 9 to 5, thank the father, you know. And he says, you can't work here. How much money you need to set your life? And I told him the amount of money. He says, he's going to lend it to me. So when I gave his son the beat stuff, After a while, he says, you know, when I came back after like a month or 2 months, about 2 months, I was like, hey, the money that you gave me to help my life straighten out. He's like, you gave my son a career, keep the money. And
Wow.
that was something. I was 2013, 2014, 15. I was like Sissy. I did some other reggae stuff. I did a thing with Yo Gotti, a little placements, I get a little placements, but nothing changed in 16, 2017. I put out a Sizzler album, my desperate state. That we really had some family issues. 2017, Sizzler album did good. Little kid named XXXtentacion, came into the studio to record. He did look at me at the studio before. Look at me, a record that went big. But then he came to record Jocelyn Flores. I know there's somewhere out there, so I'm credited on that. I recorded it, mixed it, mastered it. He wanted it done the same day. So I didn't know who he was. I thought he was some SoundCloud kid, you know, one of those kids. So he's in the studio. I was like, yo, be quiet in my studio. And he's like, I see him looking like Trippy was in the studio. Trippy Red, the whole like members only. He's at a gang, you know?
Yeah.
Ski mask, and they're in the back. I was like, you young boys, be quiet in my studio. I'm working. And they're like, yo, who are you, man? Like, my name is Jon FX. I do reggae stuff. He said, oh, you're like a reggae legend. They're like, yeah, be quiet. I thought they were just kids, you know? So I'm there working. And I was working on Sizzler's project. And he says, yo, can I get a verse on it? I was like, yeah, that would be good. So I put him on the Sizzler record. I recorded the Jocelyn Flowers already for him, mixed it. He was just staying in the studio. He loved reggae. Why? His mom's Jamaican. And his dad is Jamaican. His dad is a Rasta man in Jamaica right now. So it's a nostalgic feeling for him to remember. Like Sizzler is a big Jamaican Rasta artist. So his dad played a lot of Sizzler. So he was just stoked. That's why he didn't want to go home. So I put him on a song with like his idol. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then he gave me the Jocelyn Flowers. By the next day, he released the Jocelyn Flowers with Empire. Like 2 days, the record go platinum. I was like, what? I am platinum?
Yeah.
You know? So then when I seen it, I was like, yo, this kid is really something. So I decided that I'm going to see what's going on in his head. Because most kids have their head in their phones and they don't look up, you know? Because it's this new generation of those phone stuff, you know? I was like, hey, what's going on? You know what I mean? He's like, well, I'm getting this house. And like, you got money already? He's like, yeah, they gave me advance for the record that we just did. I was like, that's interesting. I was like, all right, here what? I want you to read these books because I want you to see how to keep it. You know what I mean? Books about the mind and how we watch The Secret together. I read all these, Think and Grow Rich and Richest Man in Babylon. And I had to let him know this is our stuff, you know. This is our information, you know. And it's biblical also. It's in all the books you can think of. The Muslim book, this is all there. So we have to understand it. He was seen as a aggressive kid. I never seen that part of him. And I knew it was, I didn't go in his world. Like, yo, where you at? Yo, what's up, son? I Jamaican. Where you there? I just dealt with him as a young man. Have you eaten? Are you okay? And his mom, I mean, when I went to court with him, his mom said, you're the only person he respects. I was like, me? Why is that? And I recognize that it's because he has the side that people would talk about, but I've never seen it. And I don't want to see it. So I just see the good of him. I see remnants of it, but I ignore it because in Jamaica, it's the same thing. A lot of guys are inner city kids. They're bad in them. But if you trigger them, then the bad side come out.
Yeah.
So I don't trigger them. Don't use trigger words either.
Right.
I use curse words. I don't get into their level of language. English. In my Jamaican lingo, the straight English. How are you? Have you eaten? Get a bath? Have something to eat? Just see him as a son. So I was doing this thing and I saw, there's a video clip that I have in my phone when I'm working with Sizzler and he was praying in the studio.
Wow.
Right here in my phone. And I didn't teach him about no praying. I didn't tell him anything about no prayer or nothing like that. It's just life. I was like, they need black men examples because what he's used to is maybe the Jamaican aggression. Hey boy, go sit down. Or maybe the American aggression. Yo, what's up, my G? Yo, you know what I mean? And it's still, there's more. There's more of us. There's more of this that is necessary. So working with him, because it's a bigger audience, it's 2017, I stayed Christmas with him because I remember the judge released him for good out. And I stayed this Christmas at the house with him at that time. 2018, he got a new deal where it was Caroline And 2018, there was by March they decided to take R. Kelly and XXXtentacion off Spotify. The only two men. Do you know that?
Mm.
So they're taking them off because a woman he had a issue with a young lady and R. Kelly situation.
Yep.
Kendrick Lamar put a post and said, if you don't put him back on, we're gonna boycott. And it's the triggering that Kendrick, because Kendrick, a lot of artists like him a lot. They'll quietly respect him, And they put his music back on, so I think he just kind of got a little depressed. And then I was spending some time in New York. And my birthday was May, and I spent most of my time in New York May. By the time I came back June, he's like a little away mentally, And June is when he passed away. You know what I mean? And it was just a botched up robbery type, It was something where I would call it the art of learning to turn the other cheek.
Mm.
Someone come for something in robbery, let's give it to them. I know that I grew up knowing that in Jamaica. You get robbed, just take it here. You know what I mean? Here it's a little harder because it's almost like kids are robbing you, and you're like, yo, don't take my stuff. The moment you stand up against that, you're like giving the life away. And I think that's kind of what happens. It's happened to a lot. I see it a lot.
Yeah.
Especially the hip hop culture, and it's this material that you have to. It's a little chain, give it. A little whatever wagon, Rolls Royce, give it. You know what I mean? It's almost God checking you to see what's the value you think on this thing. So then when he passed away, it was really a sad time. The day he passed away, I was sworn in as Grammy governor when they had the thing at the Panther Stadium. So I had to hurry up and get the stuff done and then go there to support the mom and the fans outside. And it was peaceful, which I prayed for it to be peaceful. It was peaceful because I thought the fans saw the change in him. Because the last show that we had, the Helping Hand Challenge, he was hugging everybody, They're like, yeah, the guy in the suit is kind of helping him, Because I was on the stage with him. And he was also growing mentally. And I think sometimes when people get there, sometimes they get bored of being on the earth, Or God might say, time to come. So he after that, it was June, the record label, about October, there's a record called Arms Running that Warner Brothers wanted from me with him and Lil Pump, Sway Lee, Maluma, Arms Around You. So I gave it to Warner. Warner released the record in 25th of October. By the next year, in May, it was platinum. And that was my first platinum as a producer, and it's unfortunate that it came in that manner, but sometimes I have to give thanks to life for making things work the way it worked. So from then, I said, well, there's more children like that. There's more XXXtentacions in our community and our lives, and they're really watching us, I see some kids. One day I was on my phone, and, I drive a drop top thing. And I know I used to admire people when I used to see them, guy,
Now, did you go buy it from the Jewish guy?
No.
That'll be full circle.
That'll be a full circle moment.
Yeah.
Right.
You know that guy, I think he went back, he made so much money in America.
The son?
The both of them. And they decided, done in America, they gone back to wherever they think. So this guy now, I think I got it as a gift, Was it a gift? I think I got it as a gift, but I still have to pay some stuff on it. But children look at you, you know what I mean? Because they look at you and say, is this a drug dealer, is it a rapper, is it a basketball player? And they're trying to figure out, because I used to do that too. I was like, I want to be like that guy. So I was on the phone, on the speaker in a Jamaican restaurant. Yo, and I seen this young guy that's looking at me, this kid. I say, let me call you back, because he's observing me. Button my suit, straighten up. And I know he's taking notes, like, I want to be like that when I grow. You know what I mean? So when I ordered the food now, his mom, I could tell that he's just admiring me. Little kid, And his mom is like, what do you do? I was like, well, your son may know what I do. Because I walk with a plaque in the car, XXXtentacion plaque, a platinum plaque. I just show it to the kids whenever I see the kids. And I show it to him. And he's like, oh, I can't believe it, Mom. This is XXX. And Mom's like, who's that? Parents only know Rihanna or Drake. Yeah. They don't know. The younger kids, So I got the plaque out, showed the young kid, and he's like, you wear a suit all the time? I was like, yes. You know what I mean? I bought him, his mama got to know his mama, and I got him a suit for prom. And I told him,
dope.
Yeah, I told him to wear it once a week.
Yeah.
For no reason at all. And when you do wear it, open the door for people.
Yeah.
And that's the day to be a gentleman. Even if it's just corner store. You're going, just wear it. It
Yeah.
does something,
Yeah.
you know? So it's something that we want to do more of it with this team that we have here. And that's why I say I had to make sure I come and that I'm here to share my little side. And we want more of this in our community. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. That was his day to be a gentleman. Wink, wink.
Let me ask you this, Jon. So you started wearing a suit. What did it do for you?
So I used to have dreadlocks.
Mm.
Yeah, and then
Wigs or like like actual like
the big
auto-
thick dreadlocks, not the nice ones. So when I had dreadlocks, you couldn't get no girls, couldn't get no job. It wasn't in style.
Yeah.
It was the only guys who used to have locks at the time was like the big Kodak black looking stuff.
Yeah.
Back in those days, like in the late 90s, early 2000. You know what I mean? So when I had the locks now, I would just get pulled by the cops like every day. For no reason at all. And I was driving a Range Rover. So I tend to get cars as a gift. I got a Range Rover as a gift too. From a guy, Steve, rest in peace. You know, he's street guys.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, most of the street guys are very confident and they know some mental stuff. So I was taking the bus, you know, walking my kids in the snow to school and stuff. Steve says, "Hey, yo, FX, I want you to do a movie score for me." The movie is called One Blood. And this, you know, it was 50 Cent and this kid named Shaka. 50 Cent has a movie called Before I Self-Destruct.
Yep.
The kid in it called Shaka is the same kid that was in One Blood as, you know, 50's kid too. But the movie didn't come out. So he said he wanted me to do a score for him for the movie. And at the time I was eyeing, I really wanted a Range Rover, but I didn't think I could afford it. So I said, yo, I should get like a ghetto Bentley, which is the Chrysler 300, right?
I don't even want to be on this street.
Right.
So I go into him and say, yo, man, he said, what kind of car you want, FX? I was like, just give me like, give me $6,000. I told him $8,000. Because I know I could go to the auction and I could get a ghetto Bentley for $5,000. At any auction, you know, and fix it up, you know what I mean? So I said, yo, give me $8,000, you know? When I was asking him for the money, I was kind of doing this with my head. He's like, hey, my brother, you don't know how to ask for your money. I was like, how you mean? He said, you got to look me in the eye and ask for your money. I said, yo, $8,000, you know? I still didn't know what to do. It was uncomfortable. And then he said to me, by the way, a movie score is like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why you want $8,000? So, yo, get a Bentley, you know, Chrysler 300. He said, yo, man, you should be in a Range. So I was like, I can't afford it. He said, never say that. You know what I'm saying? He said, can't afford. I said, I can't afford. All right, tomorrow we talk about it. The next day I came there to talk to him. He says, yo, tell me if you like that car outside. I look outside, the Range Rover. I was like, yeah, it's nice. I'm thinking in my brain, oh, car payment, insurance, oh, God. You know, so he said, it's yours. You know, give me the title. He just give it to me. I was like, what's this? He said, down payment for the movie. I said, dude, a movie is like at least $100,000. And this is a small deposit. So I'm giving you $100,000 for this movie. Because remember, you got to bring orchestra and stuff like that. Little did he know, I play like 15 instruments. So I can play a violin one time, copy and paste, a viola another time, copy and paste, the cello, and I could make my own orchestra.
Yeah.
But it was good, you know, because he wanted me to hire an orchestra. So then when I got that car from him, it kind of helped my mind state. But I knew that it was also a target, because a black guy, you have to be a drug dealer. Back then, ball players wasn't so popular. There were ball players, but people knew them.
You're right.
Now there's some guys that
Right.
they're not really known because they're not social media based and stuff. So in Brooklyn, this dreadlocks thing and this Range Rover, I get pulled like every day. And I had a temporary tag to for a while.
Yeah.
Every day a police just pull me, hey, what's up, man? Where's your parents? I was like, hey, guy, I got like 4 children. I just look young. Not that young, you know? You know? So what happens is, I was like, man, I just don't like this thing. My dad passed away 07 too. And I was like, this is just too much of a thing. So I said, I'm going to honor my dad. It's a black people honor, firstborn son. Cut your hair at the, you know, the graveside or before, you know. So I'm going to cut my hair and start fresh. And when I cut my hair, I used to always try to get loans at the banks and stuff. When I cut my hair, I got my first loan. So what this, I recognize, okay, they're seeing somebody. Because with the locks, you have to keep explaining yourself. So why you look like that? Oh, it's my identity as a black man, blah, 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 Jamaica, one love. You know, too much explanation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, oh, this world likes, they like a black man that just look like an attorney.
Yep.
Or a bank teller or something like that. So I'm going to have that look then. It's less. And then I used to try to keep up with the fashion. Remember one day I heard that like True Religion and Diesel was a thing, you know? So one day I got some money. I said, I buy a True Religion jeans and a Jordans. I was in Burger King, Brooklyn, right at Nostrand, Broadway Junction, Nostrand and Broadway. Some kid behind me says, oh man, that Nick got out that NIG, GGR, got on our old Jordans, man. I was like, yeah, I just bought these now. How am I going to
Already washed.
You're old, you know? That's like,
Already washed.
I can't follow this new thing. And the jeans again, somebody say, yeah, you got into these, the True Religions and these, but that's not what you wear. I'm like, I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wear a suit, and it just make life easier for me. When I start wearing a suit, I used to go to night school for a GD, and I used to think I was a teacher. It's like, I like this. I wear the suit now. No police don't pull me anymore. No, with no locks and suit, you know, it's like I call it, I see a guy joke about it, call it a police repellent. So I say, it's a good thing. It's a police repellent. So it's not for that, but it helps your mind.
Yeah.
You don't do certain things when you're in a suit, you know.
Yeah.
Just self-conscious. If somebody want to argue, you're like, listen, I'm not having it today.
Yeah.
You look in the mirror, you see a gentleman, you're not going to be like, yo, you're not going to do it. You know what I mean? That's why I'm a condition my mind. I'm going to stay in it. And I said, how can I get a suit? Thank God for H&M. I think they opened in New York, Kings Plaza, 2003 or 2002. I went in this place at $79.99, full suit, like $50 for the jacket and 20 something for the pants. I get one. I bought it. I put it on. I wear a t-shirt, if you know what I mean. Or then I wear a button-up shirt, or I just keep moving everyone. I'll change the lapel because a blue suit, lapel can look black. Depends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I change it, and then I go to the bank. It's like, oh, my name is Jon Crawford, and I'd like to have a loan today. Oh, yes, Mr. Crawford. It's like I came here with the locks, and you guys, you know.
Yep.
I just understand what they're seeing.
Yeah.
It's tit for tat, because I know some police officers, and I do a bet with them, and they would say, see that guy with the seat back with the car, and the locks and the gold teeth and the t-shirt? He said, I bet you his license suspended. My police friends would do that. I was like, let me ask him. Don't pull him. Let me just ask him. I see the guy pull a gas station. I was like, your license is good? He said, what are you, cop? I said, I just want to ask you because my license is not. He's like, nah. I was like, okay, cool. Everything. I go to my police friend. I say, yeah, his license not good. So they have a stereotype that they follow.
Right.
85% of the time it's accurate. And this is why I urge my brothers that, hey, it's even cheaper to wear a suit.
It's interesting you say that 85% of stereotypes is accurate, because that's one of the things. Like, obviously, we all want to, regardless of culture, whether you're, you know, Latino, whether you're Black, whether you're West Indian, whether you're Asian, we all want to minimize and not succumb to the stereotype. Yeah. But the reason that stereotype also exists is because, as you said, 85% of the time it's true. Like, it's rooted in some sort of truth within that. So I guess to that point, especially with you being in the hip hop community, like, how is it received in terms of, you know, you wearing a suit all the time, you're choosing not to have the dress? How's that received amongst your peers?
I used to walk with like a duffel bag with my studio in it, laptop, mini keyboard, just to go make beats. I remember the Yogadi session I talk about in like 2014. Walking the session, Yogadi says need a beat to be made right away. Somebody said, FX, you're the guy that can do it, because I can mimic. Like, I can make your beat to the T. You know what I mean? Because I studied drum sound and drum machines. So I came in with the bag, and I dropped the bag on the floor. They're like, is it the attorney? I was like, no, I'm the producer. Like, wow, in a suit. I was like, this is good. Yogadi gave me maximum respect. You know what I mean? Because there was other little beat makers around, and they put them in a room. Yo, we working, be quiet. So when I came in, he just gave me this respect. He's like, yo, you're not an attorney? It's like, no. Is he sure? No. You know? And it does something, because I remember I used to, you know, back in the day, we look at our Black, you know, Malcolm X and, you know, Martin Luther King. Yeah. Suit was just a normal thing that they wore every day. Where people had two suits. They used to don the sleeves, patch it up all the time, and they have a fancy one and one you wear every day. And it was just something where it reminds you of a gentleman. The t-shirt and the jeans, I've seen too many times where I've seen like coaches and respectable pastors explaining themselves too much to authority and people. You don't know who I am. I'm so and so and I'm so and so. I stopped doing that years ago. You know what I mean? By the time I go anywhere, they move up and they VIP me or whatever, even when I have nothing. Because they're trying to figure out, this guy may be somebody, you know. And that's what I seen. For us, remember, we start the race off late, you know,
Right.
as this kind of people.
Right.
So we can't kid ourselves. And when I come from the islands, I don't trick myself. Like, yo, you remember, you're still this, you know. Certain things that another guy would get away with, we're not going to get away with it. We can't even get away with having affairs.
So I mean, do you think that, you know, because some people will say, well, that's not keeping it real. I gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it I gotta keep it 100.
Love how you mentioned that.
And for me, the way I see it is, the whole world is a game.
Yes.
And it's us who have to say to ourselves, I got to keep it real.
Yes.
When everybody's playing the game.
You know,
Everybody's showing up as a representative, and we've yet as black men to figure out, like, bro, we have to play this game. We still have to be true to ourselves. We have to be real to ourselves, but realize that in order to get what we are crying for, we just get in the game.
You know what I want to tell you? In Jamaica, you know, Jamaica streets is rough. Bad man, I'm a real, you know, and then the streets in Brooklyn is rough too. And this thing I watch with Dave Chappelle, and keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
But then it's so real because every one of the gangsters that I admired over the years, they're dead, locked up,
Yeah.
hiding. And I see it in America too.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's you're not really being real, you know. You know what I mean? Y'all me be real with you, real talk. I hear the people when they get in that talking. I was like, you know, you're not really being real. You're just being aggressive.
Yep.
You know. And my father is an excellent teacher, Jon Crawford. My mom is a teacher by profession. But my dad, what he would do, he could teach you the same thing. You know, like an aggressive guy would be like, you need to read this, because y'all need to know this. And we as a third. And my dad would do the same thing. I was like, well, it's an interesting read. You could check it out. It could change you.
You want to hear something to that point? Keeping it real goes wrong. This girl I know, woman I know. She lives in Detroit. She's the school counselor, school therapist for kids.
Yeah.
And she literally texted me a few days ago, and she was like, "Oh my God, one of the kids just swung on me." I'm like, "What do you mean?" So she shows me a video of like the kid punched the glass. So I'm like, first, are you okay? Then I'm like, what happened? Why you swinging? She's like, another kid, the two kids had a bet over $1. And the kid that got upset didn't pay. But then what happened was the kid when he didn't pay, the kid that he owed the $1 to started going around telling everybody that he didn't owe money. So then what did the kid say? Talking about keeping it real. He came in and told her.
Go keep it real.
No, he came in and told her, like, I feel like I had a number on my head.
Wow.
It's because
Peer pressure.
you're talking about
Community
$1.
pressure.
Right,
$1.
peer pressure. You're talking about $1. So
Community
because
pressure.
of that,
Yeah.
then now those kids start fighting.
Yeah.
The kid wasn't even wasn't bullying him either. He was just telling everybody, "Oh, this kid's a punk. He ain't pay me my money. He ain't pay me my money."
Right.
So now he feel like I gotta. You're talking about a single dollar.
$1.
So now he feel like I gotta prove it. And now you fast forward this. Not only they got in the fight, now he swung on the counselor, done broke the window. This whole kid's life is now
You ready
back
for
with
4 quarters.
Yeah.
85% of people are in prison and 75% of people are dead. It's an ego push. You know that?
Yeah.
I know a lot of guys that do a lot of bad things, right? And I would ask them, give me the last 5 people that you do bad things to. And they'll give me the scenarios. And it says, this guy just said he was sorry, it'll be done. But when your girlfriend call you, so I'm going to call my man. You come, you got to deliver. You know what I mean? And if you don't deliver, it's almost like you're the punk. But then turn the other cheek again. That's a code, you know, that we have to live by. It's in every book, you know. It's just stand out a lot in the Bible, but it's in every book. It's a thing that I believe that even the passage of slavery and stuff was for us to retrain our minds. Because that thing is key. That what they call real, to me, is not real.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I got that truth to any druggies and any hustler and the gangsters I meet. I was like, I hear what? You're in the gang world. You think that you have your tool. It's not even licensed. You're not even real right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you mean, I'm a real dude. I could do my thing. I get away with it. I say, you can't even do that professionally. You know what I mean? I say, how much money you make in the drug world? Especially now. Nobody's cashing you out. Scamming is what you got to be doing.
Yep.
So I was like, how much you make? Like, I make like 40 G's now and then, but you're broke for like 6 months.
Yep.
I said, you know how much you made a year? You made like 300,000 a year. I said, you could get a degree and get that constantly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then they got a good month. You see them in the club, The moment they get 40 grand in the club.
Yeah.
With 30.
Right.
You know?
right.
Yeah, man.
30 gone. 30 gone. Yeah.
11, yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My friend owned Ghost Bar, so I go there and I take notes. I said, they're in here now. Pandemic time,
Yep.
I had a Lamborghini that I couldn't get it back. Not because of robbery. I rented it to this guy and he was just paying me so much for it. You know what I mean? I said, it's $1,000 a day. The weekend time, I was like, yo, I need it for me to do my Jon FX thing. Like, yo, bro, I give you 10 G's, man. Just let me hold it for the weekend again. I just couldn't get it back till he paid for the car.
Right.
I was like, yo, why you don't get your own Lamborghini? Nah, man, I'm being real, man. I don't want to have stuff on me. I said, that's not really being real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then the money gone, he's back to zero. I was just like, yo, where you hiding? He's like, I'm not up right now. And he stay inside until he touch 50 grand. And tuck away 10 and in the club. You know what I mean? And his friends like, yo, them dude just did 10 bodies. Yo, do 20. Word, 20.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Peer pressure again.
Yeah.
So we have a journey to go. They see us sometime and they're like, oh, them guys bougie or they whatever. But then they see what you have. They got the credit, see the nice house, they see your stability in their mind, and they'll do it. They say, you think I could wear that? I say, yeah. Could wear your sneakers too.
I like I like how you do that, because when we think about, again, we've been able to take this mission around the world, right? And a lot of the conversations that we have with guys that, you know, don't know about the movement or it's their first time seeing it. Like we go down, we was moving through Wednesday night through Miami.
Oh yeah.
Brother just seen, like, yeah, bro, y'all clean.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And to your point, looking at us and looking at them, you would think that they would be like, oh, y'all niggas ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're like,
Change.
they're like, yo, bro, let's,
You know why?
what y'all got on? Like,
Black man is in style.
100%.
Kardashians turn black men. Yeah, black man is in style now. So because the black man is in style now, when the girls are choosing,
I'll give you another example to that point about also with the suit. I remember, I'll never forget. I caught a flight one time. You know, you flight, you got the suit bag.
yeah.
So I walked onto the plane and I walked on. There was a white guy in front of me. He didn't even have a suit bag. He had his whole jacket just on a basic hanger, not even a suit hanger.
Yeah.
In the
Got back-
in the
basic-
plastic something
yeah,
bag.
with a shirt, t-shirt hanger. So I'm like, well, you don't know what you do. But I walk up, the stewardess check me out. You know, I'm fresh. She's like, sir, would you want me to hang your bag? I was like, yes, it would.
Right in the front.
Right in the front. So then he sit down and he looked like,
And his suit balled up underneath his chair.
you hang my bag too? And she was like,
What she said? That ain't no suit.
and she couldn't do it because she saw that he gotta provide her, but she did not want to hang that.
But you know what that is though? It's not so much that we're trying, and I don't want people to be offended and think that we're talking like it's a classism thing. It's not. What it is when you recognize, and this is what we do sometimes as black men. Sometimes we'll jump into something and not immerse ourselves in the culture of what that thing is. So with suits, you can't put your suit on a wire hanger.
Right.
And you wear suits, you're gonna learn, okay, let me get myself a nice wood hanger, something that has padding for my shoulders, something that has some grip on it so my pants don't slip off, you know, because you want to take care of what you have, right?
So the same thing now. Everybody want to rock fedoras now. Like if you really, you gonna have a hat bag.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
You gonna have a hat bag. Like you can't put that in no luggage.
Yeah.
It'll get smashed
Everywhere
everywhere.
Right.
Again. So you gotta have a hat bag that you gotta have.
Yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't make you extra for having a hat bag. That's like no, I actually take pride enough and care about enough that I want to be able to travel with
So
it.
you ready for this? I've been following you guys since Facebook, MySpace, Facebook, right? I've been following this website, you know. I told Ron when I just seen him, I was like, I've been following you guys for a while, you know, and I learned it's my GQ because GQ magazine is like food without seasoning.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I was like, yeah. We don't use that one.
Respect GQ.
Yeah, for
We're
sure.
gonna get a call on this one, John. We're gonna get the
It's not,
call.
it's not, you know what I mean? I put on a suit and it gives me a headache.
Yeah.
That's this bland thing, this spice. How you rock colors, you know what I mean? And I remember when I seen a thing with you guys and all the men walking together. I was like, look at that. And different style and different flavors and different things. And that's why I knew that, so you could wear that with that and that could, okay, good.
Yeah.
That's how you do that the correct way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You ready for this? Walking in South Beach one day, buying suits now and stuff, and I have on a thick suit in the sun, walking. And an old white man pull up to me in a Bentley and says, hey, young man, it's a good suit, but you're wearing a winter suit in the summer.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, what? Explain to me, spring suit, winter suit, coat, jacket, blazer, what to do, double button, second button.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, interesting. He says, why I tell you this is because I see you're trying to make an effort, but you just need to know this, you know? But I've been watching this black men's thing for a while. Mike put me onto it, young Mike, you know? And Le Premier Fashion.
Yeah.
So he's like, yo, FX.
Shout out Mike.
You know what he told me to wear today? He says I should wear Oscar today. So he told me, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, Mike, you know this stuff. So it's something where it's what the girls are doing now. Before they go to date another girl, they get a suit man first.
Yep.
To see if it would change their result. You know that? They try a suit man first. If it don't work, then they go date a girl.
Wow.
Yeah.
At the last resort. I'm gonna try one of these suit men out.
You know,
If this don't work,
Wow.
I'm going the other way.
Oh my God.
and the site that you
Black Menswear does not support these statements.
the site
Jon
is what they
FX, you
look
a
at.
wild boy.
What they look at.
Yeah.
Because most of the I used to be a lot at the casino, right? So the casino now is where all the different kind of girls hang out. The ones are dealers and stuff, because they see a lot of different kind of guys. So they're picking what women that see a lot of guys, like women that take the train, New York and like DC and stuff. Train women get approached a lot by guys.
Yep.
A girl in Minneapolis that got her job or Virginia don't know that she's a hot girl until
That's
she
fair.
comes to Miami,
That's
New
fair.
York, or to a big state, LA, or Georgia. When you go to a big state and guys start hollering at you, then you start, oh, I'm hot.
Yeah,
they don't
sure.
know.
Yeah.
They don't know as much. So you see them and they say, do you know you're a hot girl? So what I recognize, what they're doing is they're picking in their mind, because social media is now giving them options.
Yep.
So they will see their guy. You know, many times I see some girls get dressed in their clothes and get dressed. They go to bar one and the dude, black t-shirt with chain, bust down. He's like, I'm clean, man. I'm fresh, man. I got all my kicks. And the girls is like, could you just like put on a blazer? Look at this website right here. And they pull up the black
Menswear. Yeah.
And they pull it. I've seen it. And they pull it up all the time.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me years ago, says, hey, you work with these guys? I was like, nah, I don't. I wish I did, you know? And I was so surprised when we were meeting. He's talking. He's like, yo. I was like, man, I've been watching you guys for even the bootleg sites that follow you guys. With the name, you know?
Yeah, bootleg sites. We do got real. We do have
a lot of
bootleg sites.
Oh, we get a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's not the real people, you know?
No, it's funny you say that too. I think one of the things that I also appreciate that you say, they followed him. You've been singing for a while. I think even the feedback we've gotten over the years, especially the last 18 months, for a while, it started off with, oh, this is great, the photo imagery. It's positive. Look at what they're doing to create a community.
Yeah.
Then it flipped for a second.
Yes.
And then Black Twitter was kind of coming at us like, look at these brothers, look at these brothers in the suits, look at these brothers who are brunching. Like,
I don't understand why his suit is changing colors.
because Mr. Mitchell edited it that way. But so they started, it was like a lot of negative, like, oh, these dudes are just, you know, trying to be players. They're trying to be the quote unquote.
Oh, no. What they say? I bet you ain't none of them married to black women. They don't pay their child support.
You would get all that level of projection.
Yeah.
But then what happened was, when they realized, to your point, and I say because you mentioned the knockoff sites, and that's not champion everybody still creating their own content, power to continue to push things out there and push imagery, be creative. Yeah. But what happened was, because we were going to all the different cities, people realized, oh, it's the same guys bringing these people together in each city. It's the same guys that are in LA, Baltimore, Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, Paris, London, Ghana. So because of that, now it's like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
They're bringing black men together. Whether even if they are looking good doing it, but they're bringing black men together and they're creating a safe space. Like now, so then what happened? It flipped. Now we have people coming to our defense. Why are you hating on these guys?
Yeah.
Over time, it always gonna
Yeah. Why you hating on? You don't. They ain't hurting nobody.
Standing your truth. Over time, people join it.
So even if these fellas ain't paying child support, even if these fellas are dating somebody outside the community, wouldn't, if you have an issue with that, wouldn't the best thing for them is to be around other black men that are strong in whatever it is they're doing to help curtail whatever issues you see that they may have?
No, people.
What's the problem with community?
You know what? Let me share a thing. You know, people like problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't really like solutions. You know?
Right. True.
If you think about it, if you go to Thanksgiving dinner or something like that, grandma and everybody, why are you late?
Use your mic, John. You just
Why are you late? I've been trying to blah blah. Do you know Nene was sick and did the blah 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 blah. And you like the solutions. Hey, could we talk about this some other time? You know what I mean? Is this the place for it right now? So within our culture, I seen it even to the gunna being released and stuff. I was like, that's not what we do. We should just like, yo, I'm glad he's here. You know what I mean?
True.
You know what I mean? Even the exchange with the thing, not to be political. We're glad she came back. You know what I mean? Don't worry about the exchange. But I recognize that we're in a condition yet, because we're still evolving as a people. For solutions. People don't like solutions.
That's real.
It's like there's nothing to complain about after.
That's a good point. Exactly. So where it's like, oh, one thing what happened to us was like, why aren't you guys doing more than that?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we are doing more. Like we're doing a toy drive with the Miami Gardens this week.
Yeah.
But anything, why do we have to do more than that?
Yeah.
Why? To your point, we're providing a solution in the manner which we feel we want to provide a solution. Because you might not do it that way, that's okay. But that doesn't mean because you wouldn't do that way. Well, how we're choosing to do it is wrong.
I have something for all of my brothers here. In Jamaica, there's a thing that is in everybody's house, right? It's a man and a donkey. It's 4 scenarios of it, right? A man, a woman, and a donkey. So the man and the woman are walking with the donkey, and the people are inside are like, why they don't ride the donkey? They're so stupid. And then the woman rides the donkey, and then the people on the side are like, the man is so stupid letting the woman ride the donkey. And then the man is riding the donkey, and the people on the side are like, the man is he's such a wicked guy riding the donkey, let the lady walk. And then there's a time when the two of them walking, riding the donkey together. People, oh, what a wicked set of people riding the donkey's back. Can't please people.
Can't please.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's standing your truth, and eventually they'll come along. You know, a girl, they do it to me all the time. I bet she don't talk to black women. I bet
get
she
that
don't
all
blah,
the
blah,
time.
blah. I like, I love you too. You know what I mean? And that's it. You know what I mean?
And that's because that's a projection. Like even like so based off of some experience that you had with another man, based off of an experience that you see on TV and social media, even though you've never met me before, my mom could be white, I could be married to my mom could be black, I could be married to a black woman with kids, right? You don't know, but you just assume, bet you don't know a black woman.
Yeah.
Why? That has nothing to do with me. You don't know anything about me. Other than you just see me, you're projecting some things that happened with you previously onto me.
What I do, I tell you, we take a young child out of every community. I'll find them. I remember seeing a bus, like the ladies that do the community thing, those ladies that have these young children. And I said, can you give me like 2 girls, 2 boys? And what I do, I get them clothes. Mike does the prom suits. So I'll just go buy some suits.
Okay.
I was like, you wear this suit, you wear that suit. And whenever you guys are ready, I could have a conversation on the phone with you guys just about stuff. You know what I mean? Like, tell me everything going on in school. And it's our way of slowly injecting in our community this way. And this is where it starts. And you can't fix it overnight. But trust me, out of 10 people, 5 want to look like this.
Yeah, I mean, and then on top of that, like our sons are watching us, right?
Yeah.
Like I know I have 2 boys. Dre has 2 boys. How many boys? How many boys do you have?
2 boys, 3 girls.
Right, and so in that regard, the reason I know how to tie 5 different types of knots, or what cologne to wear, or how I should wear my clothes is because I had a dad that put it on. Like back in the day with some gray flannel. Y'all ain't up on that gray flannel. Like you feel what I'm saying? Like, but I remember that as a I remember that as a child, you know what I mean? And so I couldn't wait for my opportunity to go online to blackmenswear.com and put my measurements in to purchase a fine garment.
But even outside of that, though, I think I read a stat the other day that now 70% of kids are growing up with both parents in America.
That's amazing.
So that's amazing. So even then, to your point, like, well, even if you had a dad in the home to kind of be able to do that, why not then with you being the dad from that, so now you can be that and show that for your 2 boys. Why not? If somebody else sees that, it might not have had that, but that's still how I could do it.
I think we pitched that idea to a brand.
That's still how you could do it. Just because I didn't have one, you're still looking for those outside representations.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
Even now you look at like however you feel about like Bill Cosby and what he acted up. Like how many times have you heard the story of like the only dad I had growing up was Uncle Phil and Bill Cosby?
For real?
Right?
Yep.
So it's like that doesn't make that okay.
Yeah.
So at the same time, that's still exists today.
Still exists,
So if we
yeah.
can do things where we're having, so we did a whole Father's Day documentary on NeAndre. It's all about mini doc, like 5 or 6 minutes about that.
Good.
Yeah, he was out on the baseball field fussing, yelling at his kids.
They weren't following instructions. They weren't listening.
They did lose that day.
Right. They did this, right.
We're gonna because what I would in Jamaica, I want to start in Jamaica, and then I'll do like New York. My mom's school in New York. We're just the kids, and we come out and we talk to them. I know we have a sponsorship. We give them some suits, and what happens is it's an accountability. It's almost like a church. I remember when you get married by a pastor. 'Cause my dad is a minister too. So when a minister marries you, it's almost like if you should have an argument in the house. The wife is like, I'm gonna call Brother Crawford. And like, oh God, accountability.
Yeah.
Most times there's no accountability anymore. So the guy would just be in the house like, go do whatever you want to do, man. I don't give you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They say, I'm gonna call Brother Mitchell. You know what I mean? I'm gonna call Dre. You know what I mean? Like, all right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because they don't want another person to hear, you know, the thing. So that doesn't exist anymore. I used to say to people, when I look in New York, I was like, you know, I see they did a job on the Black American man. The older guys, I see them at the liquor store. You know what I mean? I don't see any like older guys that young boy, pull your pants up. I don't see that anymore. So I ain't talking to them, and them boys too. You know what I mean? And they don't say anything anymore. They become dormant. So I say, well, we have to do. I recognize people like shiny stuff. So I let them see the drop top. Let them see the Rolls Royce. I say, well, you hustler? I say, I'm just a black man. You know what I mean? How you get here? No drugs, no nothing here. Because they want it, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because one thing I see, you know, marijuana is legal. All the stuff that you do to get yourself locked up, you're not making too much money from it anymore. You know what I mean? And because of that, people are looking for other solutions. No, you know, and I think it's a start, you know.
I think it's a start, and I actually think, you know, really bringing full circle the moment that we're having right now. I mean, where we are in the Hampton house, where you know, Dr. King visited here frequently. They got a whole room, his room here, based on that the excellence that he was trying to put back into our community, from economics and from being present in our communities and fighting for our rights, and then also to the famed, you know, stage where we're in front of the set of One Night in Miami with you know, Malcolm X and Sam Cooke and Muhammad Ali and Jim Brown, and just the context of the power around, even in that night, just the depth of the conversations that they were having, that we now see historically, the depths of that, kind of coming back full circle to the depths of the conversation that we're trying to have. It's not a surface level conversation around, okay, you put a suit on, you're a good person. It really comes down to understanding the plights that we have and how you're already feeding into that if you go the route, because they've created a narrative of us that allows them to keep their thumb down pressed upon us. But until we decide that we want to go things a different route, and whether that is the first thing you do is you put on a suit, because now you realize now in my past is in financial services. So I understood people coming into a bank looking one way, and I can go to bat for you, but they're still not going to approve it.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
When it comes to, you know, the types of loans that they've given people, redlining. So, well, I can give you a loan over here, but I can't give you a loan over there.
True.
Because then you're going to be with the white folk, right? We don't want to have you over there. And just historically, how now we're in moments to where we're talking about the depth of people and not just the surface level of people, because even within that, it's not meant to be suit equals good. It's meant to be, if this inspires you and motivates you to change something about yourself, that could then bring out some better lights about you. Now, when it gets to the point where you Jon FX, you can do a suit every single day.
You know what I'm saying? Slight flex.
Have that, you know. Have that.
I don't know what's slight about that. That's not
Right.
New drop, slight flex. Jon FX.
right. Drop in 2023.
You know what's so funny? I used to put on a thing I call my white voice on the phone, you know, from my
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, how are you? My name is blah blah. And I walked into the city. You're the one on the phone. I was like, yeah, that was approved, right?
Right.
And I would do it, and it's a thing where people would say, man, I'm being real to me. I ain't gonna do all that. You know what I mean? I was like, how bad do you want it?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How bad do you want to change your generational pattern?
Right.
It's funny it's funny you say that too, because how many times even people now get slack for wanting to be the change maker in that room. It's like you got to give that person the ability to say, no, like he had to be the only person in that room to step foot in there. It's kind of like bringing it full circle to kind of your earlier point about Sam Cooke. If you think about it, if you watch the movie and the play, that's why him and Malcolm was going at it.
Yeah.
Because Malcolm was coming at him and saying, Sam, you the hottest star in the world right now. Why are you not making songs to represent us? And Sam's whole point was the fact that I'm even in this room and it's sold out and it's 10,000 white people here to see me by myself. That's not saying it's enough, but that is something in itself.
Yeah.
So let me
point.
let me add this point. So, Dr. Freeman Hrabowski, one of the greatest educators, president of UMBC in Baltimore, like been offered to do every great educational job, in government to, I believe, Harvard, like crazy, right? One of my clients is Dr. Hrabowski is his mentor, and when he first met him, he was doing a speech at his school, and so my client got up and asked him. He's in college. He says, "How are you supposed to be for the people if you are the president of a white university?" And so Dr. Hrabowski doesn't get in his feelings. He says, "Good question." He says, "I've graduated more black PhDs than any other provost or university president in the country. What's more revolutionary than that?" Yeah. I don't think just because someone is black, we have to relegate them to a black atmosphere. Yep. They're going to do more for us if they're able to be their best selves in the atmosphere that they've been made to operate in. Yep. And I think we do that to ourselves because we're not comfortable with seeing people challenge our insecurities.
That's big.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Big.
So I wouldn't feel comfortable at where you are, and I know the system that I grew up in says I'm supposed to do it this way, and I'm not built to do it any other kind of way. So I'm going to put that same limitation on you.
It's funny, we do that in a couple of different ways. And going what you're saying and tying it back to what you're saying about the streets, I'll never forget. I had a job one time, and I had a coworker, and he goes, "You not really black." And I'm like, "Why would you say that?" He goes, "Because you don't understand the struggle." Mind you, this is a dude, when we have the same job, we were both making 6 figures at the time. He had a college degree, but he used to always, not me provoking, he used to say things like, "I'm still about these streets." Like, might be growing up in high school that he might have been in the game.
Why is that necessary?
Exactly. But to your point, that's his own insecurities.
Yes.
Because in his mind, even though and I used to tell him all the time, like, "Bro, you're not a gangster. You got a college degree." And I just, so
period. Yeah. Right.
Because he'd be like, "You not really," I'm like, "No." And I'm like, "Bro, you got a college degree. You not a gangster. Like, your homies might be who's still in the street, but you sitting next to me in this cubicle. You got a college degree." And from that, and then how he should try to make it feel better. It's like, oh, like he should make it feel like, oh, I still got to be connected to these streets. Like, you can still have those friends.
You seen the
still be your homies.
I'm gonna give you the psychology of it. My brother used to do it to me because when I had the locks, he used to put in my face, hang with the Jamaican guys. My brother says, "Hey, remember you grew with both parents, Remember you grew with both parents." So most of these guys don't grow with both parents. Hear what it is now. If you meet somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, guess what they says? "Oh man, yo, Dre, Rich and Switch. Yo, you forgot about us, man. You get out of society." And you keep defending yourself back. No, I'm just busy as the kids. And So I say, "Yes, I'm Rich and Switch."
What Jay-Z said? "Hey, Jay, people kept saying you changed. You think I worked this hard to stay the same?"
Yeah,
right. Complimenting her.
Yeah.
Right.
Because our parents talk like this. "How are you, Sister Sharon?" "Well, I'm good in the grace of the Lord, but in hanging in there, taking a rough life easy." And the boys, the sons, is like, "Yo, what's up, man?" "I'm good, man. It's just there, man. Rough, man, in the streets, but we here still, Get that out the system.
Yeah.
And it's to walk 2 steps and take 5 steps back.
Right.
In talking, they do it all the time. So when I seen it, I was like, no, how am I? Even when I'm great, I'm fine.
And even then, so going back to the guys, my coworker was saying, like, "You're not really from these streets because you understand the struggle." It's like, no, my mom graduated valedictorian of her high school.
Yeah.
She graduated cum laude in college, got her master's. You're not about to minimize the work she put in.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to grow up in that environment.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna tell me, "Oh, you not black," or you don't really understand the struggle. I might not, but by you telling me that, you want me to minimize the work that she put in for me not have to do that.
Yeah.
So we're too committed to our struggle.
Right.
Like we're too committed to having to do it the hard way. When you think if Martin Luther King and Malcolm X went through what they went through, and of course there's a plethora of other historical figures who have made impact, right? You think they went through all of that? You think they put their shoes on and marched and did everything they did so we can still have to deal with the same? Like, some of us gonna have to make it out of this.
Yeah, right.
anytime they talk to you, because I talk to any gangster, I was like, yo, let's do a whole chess game right now. What's the probability of you becoming successful? You know what I mean? Let's run it. You know what I mean? You're doing this thing in a movie into a community with the white people. How you look now? You say they don't like me because I wear a t-shirt and I'm this and I'm that and I'm that. You say, see how much struggle it is?
Yep.
You say you're not planning to go far.
Yep.
That's when I talk to all the guys, I was like, yo, Meds this. How many baby moms you got? Blah, 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 blah. I say, you're not planning to go far enough. You know what I mean? Say, think about it. You're really making yourself a statistic. You know what I mean? Especially, you got your degree. I have a friend like that too. He has his degree. Every day he's at the domino table gambling. You know what I mean? Yo, W6. I was like, yo, why are you here? You know what I mean? I said, let these guys know that you have a master's degree.
but you know what's also funny, and I know we gotta wrap it up, Dre. But one thing that I see is I have clients who are young black guys, right? And they wear a t-shirt, jeans, hoodie, and sneakers every day and run multi-million-dollar companies with hundreds of employees. I also have clients who wear a suit every day, and I've been knowing them, and I've never seen them outside of a suit.
I'm glad you mentioned.
Let me just finish it. Mm-hmm. Do you know that we are not a monolith? We can do it both ways, but the guys that have the t-shirt and the suit that are hanging around all these diverse types of people, the reason they are received because they are successful. And people can see the success on them. Yes. They can feel it. Yes. So what we have to change is our perception of ourselves. It's not so much the suit.
Yeah.
It's how are you thinking about yourself? Yeah.
This is just
what are you portraying?
Yeah.
And if you portray that things ain't going good right now and things is rough and moms and pops is fighting and I don't got the money, I got to get on the bus. That's people gonna pick that up on you.
Yep.
You ready for this? I go to Shooters a lot, waterfront. There's a judge, I don't want to mention his name. He's very popular. And he's always there in Nike hat, like golf clothes type thing, right? And he's way more, he's a big celebrity guy. I'm like nothing to this guy because he's on TV and stuff. And he never gets a seat at Shooters. When I walk in, I park in the front. Oh, Mr. Crawford, they walk me in and they blah, blah, blah. And when I spoke to the manager, I was like, you know, that's so-and-so. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. I thought he was like a caddy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And what happens is, guys would say to me, oh, Mark Zuckerberg and these guys wear a t-shirt and all that. I said, you can't follow them. You know, I don't wear plain Jane. Yep. Mr. Wonderful on the thing, and the TV show thing. Shark Tank. He used to wear his plain Jane. He says, when I came to Miami, I stopped wearing it. Because you see, guys like me have on the same bus down, and I walk past them, and I get VIP treatment. Because people don't want to make the mistake. So the thing is, it's not equal. Yep. So you can't do what they do yet. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because people still, you're going to have to explain yourself now. You know, I'm a doctor and I'm the one who, but
now you're pretentious.
Yeah, you don't look the part. So for me, just to not have that issue, I like access. It's the reason why I fly first class. You know?
Yeah.
I want to be better than anybody, you know. I like access and I like to just be able to get through without resistance. Because there's too much explanation for resistance. I say, yo, man, I got to make sure my credit is good. I got to make sure I live there. My bank account look like this.
You're trying to keep it real.
Yeah, I'm trying very, very real.
There's a different way of keeping it real.
When somebody come to me and say, oh, man, our Christmas time is hard. And yo, how much you want? All right, here, I get a loan for you. And yo, take care of it. You know what I mean? Instead of, man, I don't got it. And that's not real. Because then life happens. Mm-hmm. And what happens when life happens? So I like having access. Somebody say, how you got that? I say, oh, come, sit down, let me show you. Yep. You know what I mean? And, you know, when you're just there and you're complaining with them, it's almost like it's just that same thing.
That's the no solution.
It takes more effort to do it. If I don't have to wear a t-shirt, I'm not wearing it. You know what I mean? Just because I know I have to explain to somebody. You know what I mean? I'm in a line, people start to disrespect me. I look like a kid and I have a kid framing it. So when I wear the t-shirt and the stuff, people just walk past me and say, you know, it's the line, right? Oh, yeah, you were? And I know when I wear the suit, there's something, it makes you bigger. It makes it something's happening for a small frame guy. And you're like, good evening, sir. Like, oh, sir, I was here yesterday and I was just the guy. It's something where it's think of how they see us. And it's where they're at right now. And you have to understand how you're being seen. Look in the mirror. You see yourself a certain way. Somebody see you a certain way. Are you willing to deal with that confrontation?
It's funny, and this will be my last segment. I was thinking about this earlier too, because how they see us is important. So like when you see somebody, I'm looking at the photo over here in the background with Winston Scott. When you see him, he has that Nazi uniform. So, okay, smart.
Smart.
Right? When you see somebody that you know, is a firefighter, okay, you know, he's brave, right? Police officer has its own connotation. Scientist has a lab coat, doctor has a lab coat. Those are uniforms.
Yes.
Right? If you're a business person, your suit is your uniform, right? Because you want that person to, that's how they see you.
Yes.
So why do you not want, so what is the problem just because they have the suit on? Why don't you want to be seen in that way?
You know, my mom just called me. You know what she said? She said, "Are you in your uniform today?" This is my uniform.
Yeah.
Cause she know that's why I call it. Cause I put on a mind state when I put it on.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for a while now. It helps, trust me.
Yeah.
It changes your finances. It changes just the way from the way you're viewed changes. It changes the way you view yourself first, you know.
Right.
It's nothing to do with the suit, you know.
Right.
It's just how it make you feel in the mirror. Like, all right, you can't slouch in the suit. You don't look good when you're slouching it. So when you do it, you're like, ready for the day. And then people look at you and like, oh, it seems like he's ready for the day, you know? And it continues like that. In situations like, it seems like he's ready for the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I pressed the button in the car one day, the sports mode. I never do that again. It's very fast. I passed a cop and I couldn't slow down. And I'm passing about 116. I was like, oh, man. Cop pulled me over and he says, you're going 116 on my highway, blah, blah, blah. He says, are you an attorney? Like, no. You know what I mean? He says, man, I'm not going to give you a ticket for speeding, man. That suit is fire. Yeah. Cop, you know?
Yeah.
Because in his brain, this is not the standard that he's looking for.
Yeah.
He's looking for either ignorant of his kind, you know, cut off shirt, you know, kind of thing, or he's looking for a defensive version of me. I know why you pulled me, blah, blah, and he sees something else. He's like, I don't normally pull this type. You know, so it kind of switched. And then I switched my personality to, I don't fight them. You know, how are you? I know you have a rough day, even when it's garbage. Like, I know you're fighting crime, and I know it's tough on you, and we like to have more of you around, and blah. All trash. But I do it. Sorry, guys, I keep a bit tired.
No, this is perfect, man. Jon FX, bro. John.
Yeah.
I ain't gotta call you by your record
His,
name. John.
his moniker.
Right. Now, we appreciate you coming out, you guys. This has been a beautiful conversation. I just love the authenticity, right? Telling your why, telling how we got here, but then also talking about the solutions. Let's not be problem oriented. Let's find the solutions and understand why the solutions continue to work. And now that we know why it's working, why are we trying to fight against that and bucking against that system?
Yeah.
So appreciate you,
Thank you for having
sharing your
me.
time with us
It's an honor
today.
to be here, too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's the historic place. It's
Coming to the flash mob tomorrow?
every time you come, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Right.
And you tell me what the weird one, I'll be there.
Well, again,
Kind of color.
thank you guys. This is Dapper Conversations Miami, live and direct from the historic Hampton House here in Miami. If you haven't been here, next time you're in Miami, I know you like to go to South Beach and do all that shopping and stuff, but come by here, check out history.
Yeah.
Come stand in the building, because I promise you, once you get to the building, you can feel
Feel it.
the energy of history of our community here. So don't miss out on your chance next time you're in Miami. Stop by here and then go to South Beach. All right, y'all. Have a good one.